Hello everybody, and welcome back to the new VR news. As always, I am Mateo311, and this is your one channel for everything VR related. We got some amazing stories to go over today, including a free animated series that you can check out on your Oculus Quest, widescreen game capture for your Oculus Quest, and some new haptic feedback gloves. If you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave some comments, and consider subscribing and dinging that bell. Okay guys, let's get into this. First up, we're going to be going over what's going on with VR games. Doctor Who: The Edge of Time has been delayed on the Oculus Quest until January 23rd. Now, I'm actually more upset that it's been 2 months and they're yet to implement Valve Index controller support for this game. I understand their desire to prioritize the Oculus Quest as it has a much higher user base than the Valve Index, but not implementing support for one of the highest end VR devices makes it hard for me to take the game seriously. Well, hopefully we see a nice, polished Oculus Quest version available soon, followed up by Valve Index support. Recently revealed by job postings, Ubisoft is working on an unannounced AAA VR title. Now, while Ubisoft has already released a few VR titles, including Star Trek Bridge Crew, Space Junkies, and Transference, this is the first time that the Ubisoft Reflection Studio will be working on a VR title. The job posting is currently looking for 4 roles: a build engineer, lead character artist, technical artist, and a VFX artist. Now, unlike some other large game studios, Ubisoft has actually delivered some nice VR content. So I look forward to seeing what this AAA title is going to be. Speaking of larger game studios, Respawn has recently expressed concerns over the amount of realism in their upcoming Medal of Honor VR title. Now, studies continue to conclude that there is no correlation between violent video games and violent behavior in children. It definitely doesn't hurt to have some concerns with a new medium like VR. VR brings with it a new sense of realism that has never been found in traditional games, and as simulations begin to feel more and more real, we need to be concerned with what we are simulating. So the portrayal of one of the world's greatest tragedies, namely World War II, needs to be handled with care. Respawn is aware of this, and they're making sure that the game is not too realistic. Now, I have no concerns that people are going to be walking out of the game with PTSD, namely because there is one major component that will always be lacking from a game in comparison to the real world. And this comes down to choice. The brave soldiers that stormed the beach of Normandy were under orders and really did not have a choice. They were forced to push their fear aside and serve their country. Now, when you are playing a VR game, you always have the option of not turning on the game or simply shutting it off when it gets too intense. It's the continued sustained fear with absolutely no control over your surroundings that leads to some mental issues. So while I'm not concerned that VR war simulations are going to start giving kids PTSD, I am very happy that Respawn is taking this topic seriously. Resident Evil 7 has received a VR arcade version. Unfortunately, the reviews aren't looking that great, which is sad for such an excellent title. I always find the concept of VR arcades intriguing, because as a child, an arcade was where you went to get the highest possible experience, and places like The Void have an extreme potential to promote VR and show it in the best light. The Remedy is a new free animated series that you can go ahead and watch on your Oculus Quest. Just go ahead and download the Oculus TV app and you can find it in there. VR animated content is absolutely amazing, and 2 other great examples are The Great Sea and Bonfire. And finally, I have one more free application that you can test on your Oculus Quest. Now, this is actually web-based software, so you just open up your browser on the Oculus Quest and navigate to this site that will be in the description, and you can swing around like Spider-Man and test how susceptible to motion sickness you are. It's a cool little demo if you're looking to kill some time. Moving into software updates, if you are an Oculus Quest content creator, there are console commands you can use to start capturing footage in widescreen. It's become very common for content creators to either blur the edges around their video or take up about 1/3 of the screen with footage of themselves actually playing the game. No longer will you need to do that, but just be aware you are cropping the image. The aspect ratio of the Valve Index screen is not 16:9. There is no possible way to capture that image without cropping it. I will put a link to these console commands. Just know you can also up the bitrate for higher quality, you can remove foveated rendering, and you can even change the frames per second capture. Now, some of these setting changes may come at the expense of performance. So last on our list is new VR hardware, and I find it absolutely amazing that I have something new to talk about every single week. The Forte Data Glove has recently announced that they are adding Oculus Quest support. These are enterprise-level haptic gloves that allow for finger tracking and the simulation of making contact with certain surfaces. Bebop Sensors, the creator of this haptic glove, has confirmed that multiple other HMDs will be supported, including the Rift S, Windows Mixed Reality, the Vive Cosmos, the Vive Pro, and even the HTC Focus Plus. We're expected to see more of this glove at CES this month, and you can actually purchase the glove right now. However, no price is listed on the website. You need to submit a request form. With the enterprise level targeted, I don't expect these gloves to be cheap. However, with every single new release of a product like this, the possibility of a more mainstream version gets closer and closer. So our final topic is a new mobile headset. China-based VR company Pico Interactive has two new headsets that will release soon, and this is the Neo 2 and the Neo 2i. From a hardware standpoint, they are very similar to the Oculus Quest, utilizing a Snapdragon 845 processor, but the Neo 2 products are utilizing a 4K screen with a 100-degree field of view and a 75 Hz refresh rate. As expected, the i version comes with eye tracking. These products will be available for $700 and $900, and at that price point, it doesn't look like this is going to be any competition to something like the Oculus Quest. Okay, everybody, that was the VR news. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, dinging that bell, and I will see you guys on next time.